The rain pounded against the windows with relentless fury, its rhythmic drumming reverberating through the desolate corridors of the school. I navigated the empty hallways cautiously, my footsteps echoing ominously against the tiled floor. Each flicker of the fluorescent lights cast disorienting shadows that danced along the peeling walls, heightening my unease. As I ventured further into the abandoned school, a chilling sense of foreboding settled over me like a heavy shroud. The air grew thick with an almost tangible tension, as if the very atmosphere held its breath, waiting for something sinister to unfold. The familiar creaks and groans of the aging building seemed amplified, and I couldn't shake the feeling that unseen eyes were watching my every move. Amidst the silence, a soft whisper reached my ears, carrying on the wind that seeped through the cracks in the windows. The disembodied voice beckoned, its words muffled and indistinct. I strained to decipher its meaning, but it eluded me, slipping away like smoke on the breeze. Goosebumps prickled on my skin, and a shiver ran down my spine, warning me that I was not alone. Seeking solace, I hurried toward the familiar classrooms, hoping to find refuge within their walls. Yet as I entered one, the door swung shut behind me with a resounding thud, sealing my fate. Panic gripped me as I realized I was trapped, cut off from the outside world. A suffocating darkness seemed to descend upon the room, accompanied by a bone-chilling cold that penetrated to my core. The once familiar surroundings transformed before my eyes. The walls, once adorned with colorful displays of student work, now appeared twisted and decayed. The peeling paint took on an eerie semblance, resembling the rotting flesh of long-forgotten souls. Shadows danced and writhed in macabre patterns, distorting the shapes of the objects around me. A foul stench of decay filled the air, assaulting my senses and turning my stomach. It mingled with the mustiness of neglect, creating an oppressive and nauseating atmosphere. I found it harder to breathe as the putrid odor invaded my lungs, threatening to choke me. Whispers began to fill the room, growing louder and more menacing with each passing moment. The voices slithered through the air, twisting and warping into a cacophony of sinister tones. They echoed inside my head, seeping into the deepest recesses of my mind, where fear lurked like a dormant beast. Unable to make out the words, I could only grasp the malevolence that saturated each syllable. The whispers taunted me, mocking my terror and feeding off my rising panic. It felt as if they knew my darkest secrets, my deepest fears, and reveled in their ability to manipulate my emotions. In a desperate bid to escape the encroaching horrors, I sprinted toward the door, my trembling hands fumbling to find an exit. But as I reached for the handle, a cold realization washed over me. It was locked, firmly sealing me within the nightmarish confines of the room. Fear intensified as the school seemed to come alive, shifting and distorting its layout. The once familiar hallways morphed into a disorienting maze, twisting and turning like a labyrinth designed to confound and entrap me. Panic surged through my veins, urging me to find an alternative route, but each corridor I chose only led me deeper into the school's nightmarish grip. And then, emerging from the inky darkness, a figure materialized, a specter with a twisted and contorted form. Its eyes gleamed with a malevolent light, piercing through the shadows. Its ghastly presence sent chills coursing through my veins, freezing me in place. I could feel its hunger for fear, its insidious desire to claim me as its next victim. With my heart pounding in my chest, I closed my eyes, bracing myself for the inevitable. But in that moment of surrender, a surge of courage coursed through me like a bolt of lightning. Determination flared within my soul, and I refused to succumb to the terrors that plagued this accursed place. Summoning every ounce of strength, I broke free from the paralysis of fear. I ran, driven by a desperate instinct to survive, crashing through the shifting corridors like a wild animal fighting for freedom. Adrenaline fueled my escape as I disregarded the rules of logic and reason, driven solely by an unyielding will to leave this forsaken place behind. Finally, I burst through the main entrance, my body drenched from the relentless rain. Gasping for breath, I turned to look back at the school, a silent sentinel, a monument to the unspeakable horrors I had endured. It stood there, a spectral presence looming in the darkness, forever etching its malevolence into my memory. The rain continued to fall, washing away the remnants of my terrifying ordeal. But the scars remained, etched deep within the recesses of my mind, a reminder that evil can lurk in the most innocent of places. And as I walked away, I couldn't help but wonder if the school's secrets would ever truly be laid to rest, or if they would continue to haunt those who dared to venture within its haunted halls.